So I'm very pleased to welcome Martin to my channel. He plays second at Worlds. But before we get stuck in, of course, thanks to my patrons, Wiberian and Baron of Dice. Okay, so let's see. So Martin, let's look at this actual list before we talk too much about the specifics. So this was a Gloomspike Gitz list with Squigalanche. It was 3 drops. Of course, we had Laura the Frazzle Git and Tank Manifestations. We went with Restless Energy and Intercept and Recover. We have a Fungoid Cave Shaman with the Clammy Hand, and then 3 reinforced units of Boingrot Bounders, 1 minimum unit of Scourge of Gyran Spore Splat of Fanatics. The next regiment was a Squig Boss with Nash the Squig with 2 more reinforced units of Boingrot Bounders, a reinforced Moonclan Stabba, and then our last regiment was a Snarl Boss on War Wheela with Backstabber's Blade, and then that reinforced unit of Sunsteala Wheelas. So I guess my first question really is, why did you decide to play Gloomspike Gitz for this tournament?
Um, Basically, I look into Git's list since lots of time, but I didn't have the models. So my army was mainly given to me from some friend. So I grab 10 bundles here, 40 bundles here, extra.
No kidding.
And for the walls, basically, earlier I was playing Scavenge since release of the last GHB, but it takes a lot of time and it's good on team to mitigate matchup. But in solo, if you want to have lots of win, it's difficult. And with the last update battle scroll in September, I think, Gitz get lots of buff just because the bonders take -10. All the squigs basically take -10s. Lot of small unit take -10, and the Sunsteala Wheelers get a ability update, so they can use their movement during both your turn and your opponent turn. That makes the unit really crazy. And I have some friend of mine that just say, okay, you go to Atlanta the two previous time you bring your own army, even if that was an army that wasn't on the top meta. And I just play my list and my army that wasn't that strong, but I played them. And this year they say just go with one of the best army of the game. And so I chose to go with Gloom. I didn't have that much training, but I mainly get Gloomspite because that was an army that is really strong. So yeah.
So you think that Gloomspike Gitz right now are a very strong army?
I think that basically on the top army at the moment you have probably Gloomspite and Tinch. Tinch with a lot of Tsunger and Lore Fate, because you have different type of Tinch. And Gitz is probably one of the strongest army. If that's not the first, that's the second, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy because they were one of the worst armies for lots of 4th edition. Because, I mean, in your list, like, your list is running 50 bounders, right? So you're running 5 reinforced units, right? So that's 10, units of 5 bounders. So at 10 points each, it's 100 points that you have taken off your list. It's a lot of points off your list.
Yes, basically, I don't think that 50 bundles was the most optimized list, because I didn't play Gloomspite before I just send my list. I just do one game after I send my list. And now I think it's better to play Lunmasha from Scourge of Gyran, just 1 or 2 unit of 5, and to play unit of Hoppers, because the unit of Hoppers is really good on lots of matchup and give you lots of play during your game. So you are not just like I have my screen of Stabas, I have 50 bundles that will wait, and then I will do the same thing with 5 units. And I think it's better on game to just diversify what you can do in a game and have different units with different role. Just have more option during your game.
So can you tell me how the list actually plays? You said that you have like this reinforced unit of stabas, right? Yeah. Like what's your like go-to kind of setup? If we were to throw like even a random battle plan on the table. Or even without anything, even just throwing maybe just some terrain even. Yeah, or anything.
I will just do Link, for example, but yeah, okay. Okay. Basically, the goal of my list is to say I have one unit that is just a unit that can work alone. That's a unit of Sunstiller Willars, and alone they can just manage a flank. They have no unit on the game that can just deal with them, basically. Only shooting unit can do something, but that's not that simple because you can move 12 in the back. So if you do it, basically, if your opponent have 18-inch range, if he is not closer than 6-inch range from you, you can just move in the back. So
right.
Or you can just play with obscuring. Basically, when I have place of power, I always try to have my unit of chariot if I face shooting near the place of power, because you have 4 models, so you can basically easily do something just around the place of power to ensure you are obscured. And you can have a small character that will give obscuring to some terrain, because it's really easy for the unit to just move onto the terrain and be within 1 inch. And so basically I have this unit that will just manage a flank. And then on the center of the map, I will have a unit of 40 stabas, and just in the back of this unit, my 50 bounders with my 2 small characters.
It's a lot of bounders.
Yes. And my snarl boss mainly just go anti-FAP unit, like if I face something that can teleport, or just Stormcast extra, I will just use it to say you need to be set up more than 9 from me, and I will just use it to block aside my unit of chariot that is here, just block another side, because I can just block lots of space. And then on the center, I will have my big screen unit of 40 stabas and my 50 bounders. Depending on the mobility of my opponent, I can just spread a unit of 10 bounders in a flank. If I just out-movement my opponent, so I know he will not be able to charge my bounders, and I will charge first, so I can just split some unit of bounders in the map. And it depends on objective also. But yeah, that's mainly that's the thing I do. And my unit of spore splatter is more than 3 from the front of my unit, so my opponent cannot fight them. And if I face shooting, I will just hide them on a forest or obscuring terrain, and I can just move onto the forest within 1 inch, and then end of the turn move to d6 to just be in combat with my opponent.
And so the spore splatters, are they just another screen?
They are not another screen. It's really important to say to my opponent, I will have a big screen of 40 model. If you want to deal with it, it's really difficult. Why? Because you need to deal 40 wound on one time. Because if you only do like 20, I can say, okay, I will move this model. And if your unit was here, if your other unit, for example, if I will just take to Willa, just show something. If I have my unit like that and my opponent charge me with 2 units, the first that activate, I say, okay, I will remove my stabas here, and the second one will not be able to fight. So you need to deal lots of damage with one activation against the staba if you want to kill them. And once you've done that, I will just say end of the turn, I move 2d6 with my fanatics. And if you kill all my stabas, I will just move 2d6 and be in combat with you. And if you didn't have retreat and charge, or retreat and shoot, etc., you will just be blocked. And then on the next turn, if I get it, I will move 10 with my bounders. Otherwise, I will let you the turn and you will do nothing because you're locked. So you need
Right.
to go onto my unit of 40 stabars with a big unit, because that's 40 wound, potentially -1 to it. And if you do that, then I just block your big hammer
So they're like
with a sword.
they're almost like so they are kind of a screen, but they're like a secondary screen.
Yeah, my goal is to say if you send a unit that can deal with my stabars, then your unit will be locked with my spore splatter.
Right. And then you
And
just
if you
crash
didn't
into
have
bounders.
shooting, etc., you will just do nothing on your turn. And if that's my turn, I will just send all my bounders onto your big hammer unit to kill it. And then I will have my spore splatter that can move again to try to lock some units. So
Right.
yeah,
And then the
that's
squig
mainly a
boss
second screen.
and then the squig boss is just buffing whatever unit of bounders is attacking.
It depends, but yes, mainly. Most of the time, I have enough damage to didn't have to use my crit mortal. So sometimes I just use it, keeping my shaman outside of the 30-inch range from my opponent. And if I cast my +2 movement spell, basically, I can have a unit of Bunders that is wholly within 12. I give +3 to the unit, then he starts the movement, and it can just move like 15 if I'm under the moon. So you can be really fast on the map if need, and you can put pressure onto your opponent to just say, on turn 2 and 3, basically my moon was onto the squigs on turn 2 and 3 every game. And I can just say, okay, I can move 15 with my squigs if I get my spell and my 2 up with my character. So I can just pressure my opponent to say, okay, if I want to move like 15, I can go up to here and then have a charge.
Right.
So
So
that's not a lot of pressure.
you
Yeah.
picked restless energy and intercept and recover. And I can understand why. Was there another battle tactic that you were considering?
Yes, I was considering lots of them, but I face a problem that is on this GHB, if you didn't practice a list, you will not just obviously just if you think about a list, you will not all the time just find tactics and say, okay, this list need to play with these tactics. And when I build the list, I know that my list is probably too strong, and I'm 100% sure that the list is too strong. And if my list is too strong, I will probably win lots of my game with attrition. So I want to get tactics that I can score just if I put pressure on my opponent, and didn't think about picking the best tactics for my list. So I go with the classic combo that is Restless and Intercept, that basically, if you play an attrition game, you will score your tactics and didn't have to think about what you want to do during your game
Right.
that much. You can just focus on
Killing.
your macro plan, all your micro when you do your activation, doing the right choice for your game in terms of attrition and scoring objective, and don't focus about your tactics. But after I do all my game in Atlanta, I will probably go for Scout Master list. That is probably the best because some matchup just make a big castle and say I will wait
Yeah.
and just castle, and if you want to charge me, you will take some risk. And against this army, I need to get a battle tactics that I can score by saying to my opponent, if you want to castle on your territory on one objective, okay, perfect. But I will score my scout and I have win the game without doing anything. And why the master? Because basically it's a really good combo with scout. Because some battle plan have a big territory deployment, and that's difficult to score Scout 1, but easy to score Scout 2. And with my list, you will score Scout 1 all the time, because you have too much pressure that you put on your opponent. So if you score Scout 1, you will score Scout 2. And Master 1 is really easy. You will do it on your games. So you will more focus about Master 2. And Master 2 is really hard to score if you play on a map with a big deployment territory. So, because you need to have no unit of your opponent within your territory if there is no man's land. So basically, if you take this combo, if that's a map that is easy to score Scout 2, you will not score Master 2. And if you get a map like Linkley Line, you will easily score Scout 1 and Master 2, but you will not score Scout 2 easily. So that's just a combo that say you will score minimum tactics between 3 and 4 at every game.
That makes sense. Can you tell me why you chose the Clammy Hand for the Fungoid Cave Shaman?
Clammy Hand is rally of 1d6. No?
Three more rally dice.
Yeah. And basically, when I look on the Gloomspite, that's heroic trait, I think. Yeah, that's heroic trait. When I look at the Gloomspite heroic trait, nothing was really great. So I just take the one that looks like the best. It's not that bad on shooting against shooting army, because you can just spam rally onto your units. But mainly I just pick it because I have no other choice, I think.
The other choice, I guess, would be the like the Loon Touched, right? Like just +1 for your casting.
Yeah, but it costs 20 points, I think.
Yeah, it does. That's
and
true.
I didn't have the point.
Correct. You're exactly 2,000 points.
And I prefer to have my list and didn't use point at this
Yeah,
point.
that's fair, because 20 points would be something like, instead of a unit of Bounders, it becomes a unit of Squig Herd or something.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, your list is like exactly with, yeah, like it's pretty tight, 2,000 points. There's nothing in the list I can see that would be an easy change and have it still be, 50 Bounders.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Bounders. Yeah, that makes sense. The Clammy Hand. Yeah. So, like, the Snarl Boss on Warwheeler. So, all that he does for you, really, is sit in the back, right? And, like, he's not going to do much. He's going to just sort of hang out. And his ability is a once per game, right? That he gives the Warwheelers +6 to move, right?
Yes.
So when do you use that? Like, when are you using this once per game ability?
Yeah. So this hero have two options. Most of the time, if my opponent can just teleport, just sit in the back.
Right.
But in some matchup, he can just like if I play against infantry units, I can just put it just near my Stabas screen, and then tell to my opponent, if you come, you will take D6 mortal wound on every one of my turn. But mainly it was on the back just to protect from teleport or yeah. Fair.
Right, but if they don't have, I see. So if they don't have a teleport.
Yeah, if they don't have teleport, it's just really near my front line to just pass across enemy units. Basically, his ability is once per game without any range. You can just say, okay, yes. I'm on the corner right, and I can do my ability on the whole map. That's +6 to movement and a -1 to it to unit that is in combat with my chariot. So basically, you have lots of options with that, and you can just use it when you try to go with all your 50 bounders. If you know that you will have, you will need to have more than one activation onto your opponent, and it will strike back. So you can just use it to apply -1 to it to the whole army of your opponent, because when you charge with your bounders, your opponent will never focus the wheeler.
Right.
You will always focus the bounders, because that's a lot of damage. So you can use it like that, just to ensure that your opponent will have -1 to it. It works really well against monster or all destruction armies at hit on 4, didn't have that much crit. Otherwise, you use it just to have more movement, and the Sunstilla Villas have a lot of damage if your opponent cannot allow defense. So basically, when you will charge with your Bonders, your opponent will allow defense against your Bonders. So if you use this ability, you can move 18, and then just say, okay, I will charge on a unit, I will apply -1 to it. It will not fight on my unit first, on my Sunstilla Villas first, because I will have like 2 or 3 units of Bunders that charge him on the center. And then I can activate my Sunstilla Villas first, and he didn't have any allowed defense. So basically, that's like 24 attack, damage 2, that can do lots of damage. And with the -1 to hit, you will like lost 3-4 wound onto your chariot, so you can use it really on a really aggressive way.
Right, because the important thing, right, is that it says they get -1 to hit if they're in combat with the Wheelas, not against the Wheelas.
Yes.
That's the key point. Yeah. And yes, and they take up so much space, right? Like they can, and especially yes, with that extra 6-inch move, you can really like tag 3 different things. Like I'm thinking about this from like as an Iron Jaws player, let's say, if you can give 3 like of my units in the front all -1 to hit, that for yeah, even for 1 turn, it's going to really hurt. It's going to be devastating. Yeah.
And you have the combo with Spore Splatter that give -1 attack.
Right.
So if you really want to charge with everything and just say we will have lots of activation, you can just use the combo to say -1 to hit and -1 to attack, charging with your chariot with -1 to hit, and with your Spore Splatter Scourge of Garant. Let's say if you are in combat with them, you have -1 attack.
Yeah, same thing.
So basically, when you have -1 attack and -1 to hit, you will do nothing into my army.
Yeah, that's quite. Yes, it's a lot, right? Even though it's really just 1 turn, it is any hero phase though, right? So you could,
yes,
they could come into you, and then you can say like, gotcha, right? Like -1 to. In your hero phase, you can really dissuade them from coming in. It's interesting. Yes. Yeah, like yeah.
I also use it and mainly use it during my opponent turn, because that's an any hero phase ability. And so you can move during your opponent turn of 18. So sometimes you can just pass across a shooting unit or a specific unit to deal damage with your ability, because you move 18, so you need to be at less than 15 from a unit to just pass across it. And then you have -1 to it, and you can just counter charge. So in some matchup, turn 1 you advance your Sunstilla Villas, and during turn 2, if your opponent gives you a space and you have used your ability, you can just like move 18, counter charge on a shooting unit or something like that, and do lots of damage. So that's strong also.
Yes, this change they made to the Sunstilla Villas is very powerful. To be honest, I'm surprised that they did it. It's a very big change.
Yeah, it's so strong, I think. And the faction didn't need it to just be strong. And the chariot have a last ability that just say when he fight, he can double activate the Sunstilla Villas. And sometime it's important because you can have like you can pass a threshold. For example, if you face a Bcalm, basically if you activate your Sunstilla Snarl Boss and your chariot, you will kill Bcalm in average. And so if you just put some mortal with 1 unit of Scrigs, you can like 1-tap some unit with a double activation, because your opponent will not use a lot of defense during your attack. So sometimes it's really good when you fight with both.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit of extra
calculation, and getting some threshold sometime to just kill a unit and didn't let him with 1, 2, or 3 model, or just a monster.
Yeah, you're definitely making me reconsider this Snarl boss on Warwheeler, right? Like there's a lot more than just, oh, they can move 6 extra inches one turn, right? There's a lot of tricks that you can play here.
Yeah, and basically if you play a list with only Wolf, it will always play this guy and 2 units of 4 chariot.
Yeah, probably, hey? The chariots are very, very strong. Yeah.
Yes, and during 1 turn you can like that works on all your chariots. So basically during 1 turn you can have 2 units that move 18 and charge with the +1 wind from the sub-faction if you play only Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really strong.
It's a lot. It's a lot of debuffs in 1 turn to have, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a 4-up save too, and I think that's a thing that really helps them out as well. They're not they're not really fragile. You know, they're a little bit more survivable. 6 health on a 4-up save, right? 24 health on a 4-up save for the reinforced unit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. It's difficult
Basically,
to chew through it all. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have your -1 to it, and you choose your fight, there is no unit that will just like even kill 1 model is difficult. So when you choose your fight. Yeah.
If I told you that you had to remove 3 units of bounders from the list, because a lot of people that play, you know, they don't have 50 bounders and they don't want to collect 50 bounders. If I had to remove 30 bounders from your list, what would you put instead?
Basically, I'm 100% sure that the 50 bounders was a mistake. There is lots of unit that is really strong for different things in Gloom, especially in Squiglist. Basically, the hoppers is a unit. I think 20 hoppers is mandatory on a list. Just because you have lots of movement, because you move off 8, and if you do your combo to have +3 movement, and if you cast your spell, during the turn you can move 4 instead of d6. Basically, you have lots of movement, and you can just go really far away, or use an auto one to just pass across an enemy unit and deal mortal wound, and that's really that's a huge amount of mortals that you will deal without charging. So when you just want to do damage against like a Sylvanet that can have strike first, Magma Drought with strike first, you can just pass across him and say, okay, I just passed, they deal 10 mortal, and that's it. And this unit with lots of mobility is also really good with the Nyasha Squig, because you have a unit with 20 squigs. So your crit mortal is really better on this unit than on the unit of bounders. Like a unit of squiggers. Squiggers, you have 20 squigs. Hoppers, you can have 20 squigs. But for bounders, you only have 40 attack with crit mortal. So basically, I think a unit of 20 hoppers is really strong. And the other unit that I'm pretty sure that I want on the list is a Scourge of Gigant Lone Masha.
Oh yeah.
Because on lots of the game, you can just put pressure on your opponent to say, okay, my Staba is a screen, but if I just like move and charge one of your unit in front, I can pop my 5 guys during the charge phase. Then they move 2d6. They can pass across models, so they can just like go onto your unit of shooting or just small character, etc. You deal mortal wound, and then first activation, you activate your Lone Masha with a all-out attack, and you have 15 attack in 3-up, 3-up, -2 damage d3. So basically, that's like 6 or 7 save, -2 damage d3, so average damage 2. And you will kill lots of units of archer, lots of small character, etc. When you deal d6 mortal wound plus this fight. And that gives you lots of play during your games because your unit of Staba comes from just a big screen that is really tough to kill to a unit that can put pressure on your opponent to say, okay, your unit of archer would just need to be on the back because if I charge with this unit, I can then summon my Lune Masha, move to d6, then fight, and clean your unit of archer. But just 5 with an auto attack is a lot of damage.
Yes,
So
they have reach. Yeah.
Yes. So 1 unit of 5, 20 hoppers, and if I have point, and I think I get point, I can have like a unit of 20 Squiggers. Why the Squigger is good is because it didn't score Scoot, but it's not a problem, I think. But your unit of Squiggers can get the Obscured. So you have less mobility, but against all the armies that have shooting, you can just obscure your unit of Squigger and keep some unit of Bounders in the back because you have more movement. And just say to your opponent, if you advance your unit of archer, I can just reach you with my Lune Masha or my Squigger. And if you didn't do it, you will never shoot onto my Bounders that is not obscure. So yes, I think it could be better to have like this type of list with a mixed. I don't know if that's fit on point.
Right. I'd have to sit down and actually look at the list. I just know that a lot of Age of Sigmar players, they like to collect lots of different models, right? So if going from 50 bounders to 20 bounders and hoppers and Lune Smasher fanatics, like people like those kind of lists a lot more. And I personally, they're more fun to play,
And the list is better, by the way. I just played 50 Bounders because I was like, I didn't try the list, and I was like, Bounders is too strong, so I will just spam it.
Sure.
And I have friends that have 40 Bounders, so that's it. But when I play my games, I really was like, okay, my list is not optimized, and it's better to have more options during my game. And Hoppers is mandatory, I think. Squiggers is really cool, and the Lune Masha is also mandatory.
Well, it worked, right? Like you placed second at Worlds,
yes.
So like thank you for making bounders go up 10 or 20 points next update.
Oh, there's a lot of things to nerf, but I think the chariot is too strong.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, it was
a mistake. I don't know if for Bounders that could be point or like one per turn army or something like that onto the ability. So if you spam them, you didn't get the mortal.
Sure.
And just to encourage people to have like 1 unit of Bounders, 1 unit of Hoppers extra.
Yeah, but Games Workshop doesn't like to change rules, right?
Yes.
Like they don't like to. So, and I can see why. This change to the Sunsteel Awilas was a very, very big change.
Yeah.
Right? Like they did this with Cruel Boys in the Index. Cruel Boys could use their teleport dirty trick at any movement phase. So you could run up 3 Bolt Boys and your opponent would move up and stop right outside of 3 inches. And then in their movement phase, you could just teleport them away. And you couldn't, it was so annoying, right? People couldn't move up the board. They were always running into small Cruel Boys units just for them to run away. And if they didn't run away, if they failed their sneak, it didn't matter because it was only like 3 Bolt Boys or maybe a unit of Monster Killers. It wasn't a huge loss. So I don't know why they did this change. Any movement, moving in your opponent's movement phase is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. And like all these lists at Worlds that we saw, all these Gloomspike Gitz lists, every single list had a reinforced unit of Sunsteel Awilas. Every single one.
some units have just 2 Sunstilla Willas, I think. I think I have
Yes.
seen 2 Gloomspite, but every list plays the Sunstilla Willas.
Yep.
And all the time, you just put them on a flank and say, okay, my opponent cannot do anything against them, so they win the flank.
When you
So,
deploy,
yeah, so
do you deploy the Sunstilla Wheelas at the end? Or do you deploy them first? Like, what's your thinking for when you deploy the Sunstilla Wheelas?
It depends on my opponent. Mainly, I wait until I see what my opponent wants to put on the middle and on every side. So basically, if he put lots of his army on the middle, I know he will not have that much strength in the side. So I just put them at the opposite of my middle army, depending on the map, objective and terrain. So if I have terrains that block me, somewhere I can just put my Sunstilla Willas near this terrain, because I know that my whole army will not fit here. It depends on matchup, but mainly I drop them at the end.
Right, because you want to see what your opponent and like let's say for example here, let me pull up some stuff here. Let's say that I was playing a Cruel Boys army, and hold on, it's gonna load up here. And I was gonna drop a lot of my army. Like, let's say that I was playing, like, what's a very typical kind of army here? Oh, I'm just gonna wait for it to load for a sec. Come on, there. So if I was gonna drop a lot of my army on the left-hand side. Oops, there we go. Okay. And I were to drop something like a monster over on this side, I would think that the Sunstilla Wheelas would be good against this monster on this side, just because the monster's not going to be able to really do anything all game, right? He's going to be stuck there.
Yes, it depends on shooting unit and what I want to do with my chariot, because mainly if you have a shooting unit, I want to manage it with my chariot. But if you didn't, I can just, like, depending on your tactics, if you didn't have master, I will just put this guy in front of the monster and the unit of 10 wounders just in the back. And I will just move it like that with my unit of bunders waiting. And if you go on it, I will revenge kill with my bunders, and that will be worse. So, and if you have master, I will not put this guy because I didn't want to give you the first master. So you can just put my chariot and like move, keep enough space to just move back if I need, because I didn't want to block my movement.
So I'll move. Yeah, right.
And just and keep my one unit of wounders in the back to just say, if you come here, I will just grab my units, move of 12. I can pass across model. And once I have done that during my turn, I will just send a unit of wounders and send my Sunstilla Wheelas on the center to just do something else.
Right, just to get in the way with something else.
Yes. Yeah, and one thing that is really important is that when you move your Sunstilla Wheelas, if you can be within 13 of an objective, it's important because you can redeploy when you use your ability. So basically, sometime you can just like move 12 redeploy of minimum 1, and if you are within 13 of more than one objective, you can just choose which objective you want to contest. If your opponent teleport or do something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
If you teleport, just at the opposite side from you on the objective, you can just move to contest the objective. And if he, like, I will just put some objective to show you that. Where is it? Here. Okay, so basically, what I want to do is being within 12 or 13 of the objective. So if I have my unit here, if you want to teleport something at the opposite side of me, I can just move them and redeploy to just contest the objective. And if you drop it here, so I cannot go into the objective, I will just move, and counter charge. So I keep lots of CP for my opponent turn to just have the choice of what I want to do, if I want to redeploy, if I want to counter charge. And mainly I only use all-out defense during my turn, and sometime all-out attack if I need to.
Right, because the Sunsteal Wheela's ability doesn't have a run keyword, so you can use this ability and then you can countercharge. Man, they're so good. Like, they're so good.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can do with them. Like, there's like, I think that right now, if you want to be a very good Gloomspite Gitz player, the way to be a very good Gloomspite Gitz player is to get very good at using the Sunsteal Wheelas in all of the ways that they can be used.
Yes.
And then smash with bounders.
Yeah. Bounders, so everything works. Like, Hoopers works, Triggered works. I'm not that much fan about the Trogot, but everything else is really good. And the list with Food Wolf is good also.
Yeah, because the Sunsteal Wheelas are really good. Right? Like, that's...
Yes, and not only the Sunsteal Wheelas, but mainly due to Scourge and the Sun. Obviously, Sunsteal Wheelas, because you have +1 wind, and you can bring like 2 units and 1 time this guy to just have 2 units that can move 18. That's really far. But mainly because with Scourge of Giron, you get 2 units that is amazing in Gloomspite. The 2 units of Fanatics. And these 2 units didn't need to have a battle formation to work. Basically, if you want to play Skrig, you need to have Skrig Avalanche.
Yes.
If you want to play Full Wolf army, you need to play the battle formation with +1 wind.
Yes.
But when you want to play the Fanatics, you didn't need any battle formation. You just need a unit of 40 Staba that is too strong also. So you will take a unit of 40 Staba. And then you can play lots of Fanatics and lots of Skrigs or Wolf with it. So you play basically Wolf is like 2 units of Wind Force, that's a unit of 6. I don't remember the name. It's not found pack.
The Cavalry?
Something like that. Yes. Cavalry unit of 6 when you reinforce it. You play 2 times this unit, 2 times the chariot character, and then you play like unit of 40 Staba, 2 times 5 Lune Masha, 2 times 5 Spore Plata, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense to me. It's a good observation, right? That the Loon Smasher Fanatics don't need any help. They're good all by themselves. No battle formations, no enhancements, no spells. They're just good. Well,
Yes.
it's great because, like, in Gloomspite Gitz right now, it feels like there's a lot of different ways that you can play the army, right? And have the army actually be good, right? Like, the internal balance is really strong as long as you're running a reinforced unit of Sunsteal Wheelas, right? Like, that's the only requirement. When you write a list, it's like, okay, reinforce Sunsteal Wheelas and what else? Yeah, I have to get mine painted. That's what I have to do. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today. Is there any last thoughts that you have about, like, the Gitz or the army or how to win or how to play or anything at all that you can think of?
I don't know, but just if people want to play Gitz, they need to know that literally everything is playable. If you want to play only Moonclan without Skrigs, it's fine. You can play lots of Fanatics, Tabas, etc. If you want to play the Wolf, it's possible. If you want to play the Skrig, it's possible. Except if you want to play the Spiders, that is really difficult. But just try something, and yeah, every unit is good and give you different options during your game. So try some lists with lots of different units, and yes, have fun with the game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play nothing but Gloomspite Gitz for the next 6 months, I think. Right? And I think I'm going to play a very different list every single time.
Yeah, it's possible.
And just see...
One of the armies that give you that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for talking with me today. That was Martin. from team. I think he's on Team France. I mean, he's definitely a French player, right? So, yeah. I mean, crazy. Like, it's crazy where Gitz are right now. They went from nothing to King of the Hill, right? Oh, that TTS music. Gotta rock out to that. But yeah, like, it's nuts, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, that Sunstealawheela change was huge. It's a huge change. And then, I mean, it really just shows you how precarious balance can be in Age of Sigmar. Although that change was a pretty significant change. And I don't really know what to say about it, really. Like, I don't know what they're, like, maybe they were really thinking, like, we need to make a big, huge change to this, like, Snarl Pack stuff, because it's not very strong. And they, if that was their goal, they nailed it. Right? They nailed it. I don't know about you, but I'm building and painting my 4 Sunstealawheelas as we speak. Like, subscribe. Wah.